Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
and welcome back to another episode of the Southeast Conversations podcast, aka Sex Podcast for short.
Oh.
Yes, welcome to another episode of Southeast Conversations. Like we said, today we are joined by a special guest in the studio. But before I introduce them, to the right of me, I've got the lovely Demebs.
Hi.
You can
Back.
find Demebs on every
Not every social media platform.
Most.
I'm not everywhere.
Most of them anyway.
Instagram and TikTok, I would say. Those are the
Mhm.
two main ones. So it's DUMEBZ. Actually, my Instagram changed because I removed the one Z from it. I was able to remove it. So it's like DUMEBZ instead of double Z.
So it's just the one Z.
It's just one Z. And then TikTok is still 2.
Oh.
But yeah, I know.
Yeah, you can't change TikTok, can you?
I don't know. I
You
should be
can.
able to.
You can.
I can.
Yeah.
I think I'll try it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'll do that because I prefer 1 than 2, innit?
Yeah, I
But-
think they just have like a time limit on like how often you can change it. Yeah.
See, I didn't even know
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know
I didn't know that.
Haven't been on social media that long. But yes, as you may have heard by her voice, you may have seen her face now. We've got the lovely Sarah in the building.
Hi, thank you for having me.
That's all right. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. I met Sarah. When did we meet? 2 months ago.
Like February, March?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, on Dabs's show.
Okay.
And yeah, I met Sarah and I was like, I want to have a conversation with Sarah on the podcast. So yeah, we made it happen. She's been busy, super busy. I see all your activities. I'm like, oh my God, keep going. But yeah, big you up. But yeah, we finally got her in the studio today. So we're just going to speak to her a little bit. First of all, do you want to introduce the people, yourself to the people, let them know a bit more about you?
Okay, so my name is Sarah Adedeji. I am from Southeast London. Well, born and raised East, but I live in Southeast.
You're Southeast now.
I am 25. I am profoundly deaf with bilateral cochlear implants. So for people who may not know what that is, those are essentially hearing devices. They're not necessarily hearing aids. They are hearing devices which are implanted, as it said, by the name. So I was born deaf, wore hearing aids for about 14 years, and then switched to cochlear implants when I was 18. I am a creative, but I am also a full-time audiologist. Again, for those who may not know what that is in the healthcare. So, like opticians, but I do ears, which is quite ironic as a deaf person,
Yeah.
but also the best place for me to work.
Oh,
So
that's
full-time and
nice.
freelance, I'm everywhere, essentially.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Nice.
I think that's a good point to say. A lot of people don't know this, but audiologists do exist. Get your ears checked and get your ears cleaned. Genuinely. The first time I got my ears cleaned, oh my God.
You could hear
You could
colours.
hear
Yeah.
colours.
Yeah. I could smell food through my ears.
Lit.
It was that good. So yeah, definitely go to the audiologist, get your ears checked. Tell us a bit more about your work then, because I didn't know you were an audiologist, to be fair. Are you like do you do hearing testing, or do you more focus on the supply and the products?
So, for me, I am an adult audiologist. So I did 3 years in uni, and then soon as I qualified, I was able to work in the NHS, and that essentially means hearing tests, hearing aids, rehab, so kind of like repairing hearing aids and stuff like that. So that would be when you're like referred through your GP and you're diagnosed with a hearing loss. I do the diagnosing, but we also work with departments like ENT and such like that. So that's basically the main scope of my role as an audiologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I've just recently qualified to work in the private sector. So
Ooh,
Oh,
nice. Are you
Well
gonna
done.
take that step then into the private sector, or are you gonna stay NHS?
I want to get more experience and kind of like also hone my experience more on like technology, but also see what it's like on like the business side of things. So a lot of audiology degrees, you're automatically able to work in the private sector as well as the NHS, but mine doesn't have that, which is why I did a separate course for it. £500 down the drain, but that's
Ooh.
okay because it was my brother who paid for it.
That's nice.
So yeah, I would like, you know what, I want to work in the private sector because I'm also kind of a contracted audiologist. So I jump
Mm.
from different hospitals. And for where I live, it's kind of difficult to get to those places. So I was like,
Mm.
maybe working in the private sector means that I'll be able to find somewhere like on the high street and just work there for a bit, make life a bit easier for myself,
Yeah,
especially as someone that works in other areas.
Mm.
that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, that's woman of many talents. The first time I met you, you told me you do dancing, you do theater, you do spoken word, and even with those three alone, I was like, I'm impressed.
Mm.
Just to find out your day job is also working in audiology, that's even more. You know, I
Do you
to
have
give
any
a
free
little-
days? Like, do you have any daily?
Yeah. She does next week.
Oh, yeah,
But that's cool. So what projects have you been working on recently in
Wait,
terms of your?
when you say she does next week, just to let the people know, she told us that she's going on holiday. By
Oh
the way,
yeah, context. Yeah, let's just throw it out there. She's going to Turkey next week. I hope you're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, so I my best friend lives in Turkey.
Ooh.
So free accommodation, free food,
Oh,
all of that. Just pay
nice.
for the flights, like. And
Yeah.
she just recently gave birth as well, and I'm the
Oh.
unofficial godmother. So
Oh.
first time meeting the baby. It's been 2 months already, and I'm just like, oh, but because I'm
Yeah.
busy,
Yeah.
Mm.
boo. But yeah, spending a nice week out in Turkey. So
Nice.
while you guys are suffering, well, you're.
Well, not really me.
But while you're suffering with the
yeah.
rain, and you, man, we gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be
So
having
they're
fun.
both going on holiday. Wait, where are you going?
I'm going to Spain, Barcelona.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's just gonna be me and you guys in the rain.
Just
you know.
the two of us.
Nice. Yeah, you guys are escaping to the sun, man. I wish I could say I was doing the same, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm stuck here working like a
I'm
slave.
actually sorry. I was gonna say. I
Mm.
just remember. I'm actually going to Turkey, but I'm going in August for my friend's birthday.
Whereabouts?
Good question. Because my
Antalya,
friend booked it.
Istanbul.
No, it's not Istanbul. I can't remember where it is now. But she booked everything and just sent me the details. Obviously, I sent my money for it, but it's for her birthday. But it's for like a week and a half, guys. I've never been on holiday for longer than
A
like.
week and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You're gonna have the time of your life.
I hope so.
You're gonna
I
have
feel
the
like we're
time of
not.
your life.
I hope we don't run out of like ideas or like things to do.
Oh,
Cause
You
no,
won't. You
yeah.
won't.
really,
You won't.
No.
You won't.
Okay.
When you're in a
But
new country,
definitely let me know whereabouts you're going,
yeah.
and then I can like give you a couple of
Oh,
recommendations.
I would love that. Thank you.
Sure.
Love
there's
that.
you
But
would
yeah.
when you're somewhere, you're willing to do anything.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is, look, when I went to Morocco, this was like 2 years or 3 years ago. I went with Destiny for her birthday, but we were there for like I think it was 4 or 5 days. So I feel like after like 3 days, we didn't know what else to do, so we just chilled in the hotel for like the
no
last 2
way.
days. So yeah, that's why I was like, I hope this is not gonna be the same thing.
No.
Or maybe we just didn't find that
Yeah.
many things to do. I don't know, but
Go,
You can.
There's some websites as well that you can go search a country and it'll tell you the location you go to. It'll tell you things to do.
Yeah.
I have Get the Guide app, but that's literally about it. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's probably better ones. There's
Yeah.
probably better ones in it.
There is.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I'm
Fair.
saying let me know
Yeah.
because my best friend is, a local,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
she can definitely
Tell you.
give me some
Yeah.
info.
Okay, cool.
I got
I'm
you, I
glad I
got you.
mentioned it. I'm glad I mentioned it. Cool.
Well,
All right.
I'm just gonna sit here and be sour because I'm not going nowhere. But anyway, back to the topic, Sarah. Tell us what you've been working on recently.
I've been working on quite a lot, to be honest. So I am a dancer, but also a performer, and I use British Sign Language. So Sign Language for those who live in England and Wales. There is Irish Sign Language, but you will meet a lot more people who use BSL. But yes, I am a BSL performer, so I wrote my own show
Nice.
end of last year, and we actually did that show in Newcastle. So I have a partner. My boyfriend is also a creative. He sings, and it's gonna be mad when I say this. My boyfriend is the brother of a deaf person that I've worked with, and he is a well-known deaf dancer. So it was just like, oh my gosh, full
Yeah.
circle. So his brother is the one that commissioned my show because he's got his own theatre company, and he would basically like, why not get my brother, like your boyfriend, to come in and do like the backing track of your show. So I created a 40-minute show called Pray For Me because I am Nigerian, and I've grown up in a Christian household. But as a deaf person, as a disabled person, that hasn't necessarily been the best experience for me. So the show was essentially exploring my deaf identity and my Christian identity and kind of like showcasing that to people and saying like the realities of what it's like.
Mm.
So we did that show again, and we ran it for a week in Camden People's Theatre, near Euston, and that was beautiful. We had 5 shows, sold out 3 out of 5, and
Nice.
mind you, it's still a work in progress. So hopefully, by God's grace, whenever we're able to like do like a full production, we're able to pitch that and like find theatres that will be willing to like let us perform there and kind of like tour around the UK essentially. So that was one project. I've just recently announced being in a Tesco advert, and that was basically talking about recipes for disabled people. So kind of making it accessible for blind people, for deaf people, for anyone with a limb difference and such like that. So we filmed that end of March, and it came out 21st of May. So Channel 4, keep your eyes open. It is also available on YouTube, or you can see it on my Instagram page. What else have I been doing? I'm still dancing. Literally just finished 3 dance commitments this week.
Wow.
One of which is a music video for a deaf rapper. So hopefully that comes out soon. What else have I been doing? Hibernating, sleeping.
Enjoying life, being a busy
Enjoy
woman.
life, innit?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I know that's a lot. I want to pick on the theatre show. So, when do you hope it'll be back in production, and is there somewhere we can see sort of snippets of it?
I'm hoping the rest of this year there will be a month where we're able to be like, hey guys, we're back. If not, hopefully next year. It's mad because I was actually meant to be away this weekend in, I can't pronounce the country, but Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan,
Yeah, I was meant to actually be performing the show there. It was meant to be a 4-day weekend, but unfortunately it clashed with everyone's schedule, so we weren't able to like go out there and do the show. So hopefully bigger opportunities and like a better possibility of doing that. So hopefully it will be this year, if not next year. But it will definitely be announced on Instagram and other social media platforms. And hopefully I'm able to extend the show from 40 minutes to maybe like an hour and a half. And it was literally my own work in terms of me writing the script, the spoken word, which is then flipped into song format and being sung live by my boyfriend. So a lot of people have just been like, please bring it back. And especially because we did it in London, so many people out of London were like, you need to bring this to other places, because even though it's my experiences about Christianity and being deaf, it resonated with so many other deaf people who have been able to watch the show either in Newcastle or in London, and then having people who are not deaf, so hearing people come in and being like, do you know what? This is a perspective we've never considered, because obviously a lot of people are like, Christianity is about healing. So obviously you have that perspective, but you never actually realize how it impacted the disabled community, especially with scriptures where it's like, oh, I was blind as a rat, and like obviously that's given a negative connotation on being blind, and then making people feel like, oh, you need to like be able to see type thing. Whereas I would very much like, how do you know I'm not meant to be disabled? How do you know it's not my purpose to be there on this earth and do something in accordance with God's will?
Yeah.
So, but that's as much as
that's
I'm
so
going to be
good.
sharing with this.
I like that. I like that.
What part of Nigeria are you from, by the way?
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
Yeah, so my mum is from Lagos State and my
Yeah.
dad was from Oyo State.
Nice.
Yeah.
nice.
You guys want to talk Nigeria a bit more?
No?
That's it. That's all I know. Don't ask me
Like,
anything else.
I'm British born. I'm too deaf to understand Yoruba. Like, I'm so sorry.
She has an excuse. I don't. I
Yeah.
can't speak for that. I don't have an excuse.
I actually don't, because there are
Yeah.
deaf people who are obviously born in Nigeria who are able to be like, yeah, I can speak the language. And I'm just here like,
Well, you
but
weren't
you're
taught
born
as
here.
well, though.
my
Were you
parents-
around people that spoke Yoruba, though? Oh.
but I am deaf. And for me to learn a language,
Yeah.
whereas if you were to teach me a sign language, I can pick it up so quickly. Like, I'm able to understand American Sign Language. There's a sign system called International Sign, which I'm able also to understand.
Yeah.
So if someone sat down with me and was like, there's actually a Nigerian Sign Language that we can actually learn, I'll pick that up so quickly.
Yeah.
But
I
when it
don't
comes to
even know if
spoken
this
languages, I did ask someone recently about Nigerian Sign Languages, and I might be wrong. I need to double check what they said, but they essentially said there's not anything like kind of specific to like each tribe, if that makes sense. And even though there is a Nigerian sign language existing, only certain parts of Nigeria actually use it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even then,
okay.
it's just kind of like, do I not learn it?
Yeah.
So it might be better to just learn Yoruba, but all I know is
So-
Bawani.
Bowen, yeah, I'm so glad.
That's it. Like, I'd be trying to listen to my mum use it, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but I have no clue what you're saying right now. But my
Okay.
mum and my stepdad, they use it like every day in, day out. And my youngest brother, he's able to like understand it, obviously. So anytime we're all in the room together, I just look at him and I'm like, you do know you're gonna have to interpret for me, like translate what these lot are saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Oh.
Nigerian.
Have you ever been?
I have,
Yeah.
but the last time I went was quite a long time ago. And I definitely want to say it was before like 2015 because my mum's dad passed away in 2015. And I remember being like, he's one of the only few family members that I felt like I could connect with because I am the only deaf person in the family.
Yeah.
And as far as everyone could remember in terms of family history, they were like, we've never had a deaf person in the family. So of course, being deaf in a Nigerian family household where some of the religion is Muslim, some of the religion is Christian. It's just a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
So when my granddad passed, I was just like, I don't really want to go back to Naj. Like, there's no one I can really relate to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to go this year.
Fair enough.
Hoping to go this year just to like reconnect with the roots, especially since my
Yeah.
parents have moved back and they're like living life there. Every time I call them, they're like, yeah, we're good. I'm like,
enjoyment.
okay, take me out this UK, take me with you.
Yeah.
Even like Nigerians, this is gonna be a topic for another time, bro. Because I feel like there's a lot of us that don't like know much about like where we came from, and I somewhat blame our parents too. Mostly if you're born in the UK, but you need to know like your culture. You need to understand these things, but a lot of people don't, and I can't blame them because it's like you can't know somewhere you've never been to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're never taught it. But yeah.
And then especially being in the UK where you're seeing all this Western media on all these like
Yeah.
propaganda, and like a lot of like British-born Africans, not just Nigerian, they always get this propaganda that, oh, Africa this, Africa that, Africa
From
this.
what they see on
But the
socials,
parents are like, no, it's not. But then they never make much more effort to actually be like, no, like,
exactly.
unless, you know, financially it's not possible, fair,
It's
but still
expensive.
educate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still educate, like, still, like, why is it cheaper to fly to somewhere else than it is to go back home?
Yeah,
But
true.
because the UK knows that everybody wants to be going back
Yeah,
home,
they
they're like,
must-
we've got to take your money.
They know
Yeah,
that for a
true.
fact.
And like that's why sometimes I'm sympathetic when it comes to a lot of us not being able to travel back home because even our own parents, they may not have been able to go back home for 20 years.
Yeah.
True.
Especially when they've got kids and it's like, okay, I've got a child now. The first 5 years, I need to be at home with them 24/7. And even when they do go to school, I can't just be flying out to Nige.
Yeah.
And then when they're like finally in like sixth form, you still want to be at home. So it's like some people don't even get to go back home,
No.
let alone take their children home. So, but I do feel like the education, like still teaching the language, still teaching the culture, the traditions, like what it's like to like get married as a Nigerian. Like a lot of people don't actually know that. All
Yeah.
we know is white wedding because we're in the UK.
Yeah.
White wedding means the white dress, by the way. That's what,
Yeah.
white
Yeah,
wedding
yeah,
means.
yeah.
White people.
White dress. It's a white dress.
Yeah, like where you go into like the church or like a garden
Yeah.
or whatever. But not a lot of people actually know
No, the
like
cultural,
Yeah.
traditional weddings.
the multi-day affair that it can take and all these
the
different
things
things where
behind it, how it works, like the whole process of it.
yeah, so it's just like that education first and foremost would be great to have. But again, you know, this UK is really bad vibes.
Everyone you know what? I was just about to say, it's more to your point. I think what also happens is, because I grew up in Ghana and then I moved over here and I didn't go back until last year. And that was like, 13, 14 years since I've been here.
Wow.
And what tends to happen, to be devil's advocate for parents who forget and not teach their children,
Mm.
you get lost because it's so hard to be in the UK. It's not easy surviving in the UK. Like you're saying, like it's expensive. They have the kids to feed and blah, 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 blah. So you get so lost when trying to make things work here that you don't think home.
Yeah.
You think home, oh yeah, I'll speak to my cousin, or yeah, I'll speak to but you don't think let me go back. That's the last thing on your mind.
Mhm.
You're not
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
like, I'm not even going to entertain paying £1,000 per ticket.
That's
On the
to go
true.
flip
visit.
side, though, some people do grow up with like parents who are sending money back home,
Yeah,
which then mean there's not enough for the family in
yeah,
the UK.
yeah.
So it's just like different factors and different. So
Mm.
it's actually
Yeah.
very peak. But I'm gonna make it my aim to go to Naj this year
Yeah.
Yeah.
by fire by force.
I still haven't been, so I'm gonna make it my aim too.
Yes,
I'll
you.
fill it. I'll fit you in my suitcase.
Oh,
You need a big suitcase now.
Or cargo ship. Cargo.
Okay.
Send you ahead.
It's like 3 months sailing.
Bro, I wouldn't
Yeah,
survive
no.
in there.
But yeah, back to the conversation. You said about sign language. First of all, I didn't even know there were like many different sign languages. So that's sort of informative for me. It's good to know. I wanted to ask you this question though, because we've seen it a lot on the news. I don't know if you've heard of it, but have you ever seen someone doing sign language and think this person's chatting shit?
Yeah.
I'm screaming. Oh my God, there was one. There was one. I don't know if you guys saw this video. I think it went viral. So these
Yeah.
police officers, they said they caught someone and they got a woman to come in. Oh no, they said a woman escaped, but they couldn't be able to find her.
Yeah.
And a woman came in and said, "Oh, she's going to help like do the sign language."
Yeah.
Guys, the person they were looking for was her, and she came in to
Oh,
do sign language. Have you
yes.
seen that
I've
video?
heard about
It was
that,
the
yeah.
funniest thing.
Yeah,
But
she-
and then someone had to tell them that, by the way, the person you got to do sign language was not doing
No, he was.
the
she
right
wasn't doing
thing. She was
anything.
just moving
That's
her
the
hands.
definition of hiding in
Oh.
plain sight.
Yeah.
Like you're being pursued by police, and you're like, I'm
and
gonna
you're
work for
there
you.
with them doing this. No, that was
That's
the
so
funniest
mad.
thing.
I
Yeah.
need to see that video because what I'm thinking of in America, it was quite a few years back where they were doing a court reading or something, and this woman is just in the corner just throwing up,
Yeah.
and the people thought she was actually signing, but she wasn't, and it caused such an outrage. I can't remember if she was actually like arrested for doing that.
Yeah.
But it's just like you do get cases of where people are just coming in and being like, "Oh yeah, I can do a bit of
Yeah.
sign language," and they're just clapping their hands like they're not actually. And we can tell it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, it's easy to kind of make up something.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to speaking, maybe you can like pretend your way through.
Yeah.
But with sign language,
Mm.
it's one or the other. Like
Yeah.
we can tell if you're not signing properly. You might be able to do one sign that you do by accident, but it will come off as something else.
Yeah.
So, but with sign language, it's a very sticky one because people always want to say like, I want to learn it and use it, but the intentions behind it are interesting.
Yeah. I did try because I was like, oh, Sarah's coming on the pod. I'm gonna try and learn to say hello. And how are you? Did not
Go
go
on,
far.
this.
Did not go far. It is hard. It is hard. So the girl I'm seeing right now, she learned it. She just wanted to learn it, so she learned it a few years ago. So she was also trying to help me. I was like, I can't. It's like a different language.
It is. It is. And with sign language, you have to be careful because everyone thinks it's universal. Everyone thinks, oh, I can just learn one and like
And-
everyone understands
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But it's the same with spoken languages. Like there's so many different spoken languages. Why would you think that there's just one universal sign?
Yeah.
And with sign languages, there's over 300 sign languages.
Wow.
Yeah. But people can only say, oh yeah, there's American Sign Language. Even when I do content, people are like, oh, like, what part of ASL is this? I can't understand it. And I'm like, babes, I'm not
It's not
American,
ASL,
I'm
yeah.
British. Why do you think I'm doing American Sign Language? But even then, there's French Sign Language, there's Spanish Sign Language, there's Italian Sign Language, there's so many Australian, like, there's so many different
I guess
languages.
it makes sense because it's like you're saying, languages. There's different letters and different symbols and stuff that
Yeah,
you would need to communicate across. So it makes sense.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I never-
if you know that the world doesn't all speak English, English is
Yeah.
not even the main spoken language of the world.
Yeah.
Why would you expect there to be one sign language, which most people think is ASL?
Yeah. Even English has different bits to it. There's the American English.
There's
they
American
spell it
Exactly.
differently.
So you can then apply some knowledge and be like, okay, do you know what? If there's all these different spoken languages,
Yeah.
surely there might be different sign languages. So when it comes to people saying, I want to learn it, they also have to be like, okay, I'm from, I don't know, the Netherlands.
Mm.
Learn the language for that country instead of being like, oh, I see a lot of people using American Sign Language. Let me use that and hopefully
Really?
come across someone that understands
America
it.
is not the whole world. Like you see in
Yeah,
movies, they're like
yeah.
the world is gonna end. They're talking about all the different
America,
states. In
yeah,
America.
to burn that place anyway. No. So basically, what you're saying is, if I did learn it and I done it, it probably would have not made sense to you because it would have been a different language.
It depends on what you searched
What?
up.
Yeah. Okay.
If you just searched up how to say "how are you" in sign language,
It could
I
have just
don't
been.
know what the first hit on Google would have been.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with your geotag and your location, it would have given you
Yeah.
British Sign
Yeah.
Language.
Yeah.
I can't lie, yeah. Even
It's-
Google doesn't even know how to spell certain things in Igbo when I'm even trying to learn certain
And
words.
then with the
So
whole
I
AI
won't trust it.
overview,
Mm. You're
Bruh.
worried about it spelling Igbo language. They couldn't get us here from London Bridge Station.
True.
You're worried about
Guys, I struggled to get in from London Bridge here, you know.
yeah, but everyone knows not to use Google Maps.
Do you
What
know
do
what?
you even like? What do you actually? Google Maps is. I'm used to it. I can't lie. It's the
Yeah.
first
Okay.
thing I
It's a
click to
go-to.
open. It's the go-to. So
Yeah.
that's why that was the first thing I thought. But when I drive, I use Waze.
Yeah.
I prefer Waze to using Google Maps because Google Maps has effed me off in the past. Oh my god, you guys! I got a ticket for going into the wrong street.
Oh
That I
my
wasn't
God.
supposed to go into. Apparently, it was a bus lane, and it wasn't very obvious that it was a bus lane. But anyways, yeah,
Nightmare.
yeah.
Yeah, I was cycling through central London last week on a bank holiday.
Mm.
Not last week, this week, but whenever. On bank holiday weekend.
At some point,
Yeah. I was on, the line backs. It's just nice and
Mm.
easy to get through central London when there's traffic.
Mm.
And we got to a point, and I promise you, my dot just kept moving around. And I was like, I don't know where we're going now. And it's like a 4-way intersection as well. So I'm just standing there looking stupid.
Lich,
I'm like,
lich.
get off the bike and walk. It's literally the thing.
This is why I use City Mapper. City Mapper, me
Oh.
and City Mapper are like this.
Ah.
But what I would do, sometimes I do pull up Google Maps just to
Mm.
see like the difference and see which
Mm.
one says it a bit quicker
Yeah.
and then try to understand. But
Mm.
I'm sorry, Google Maps and me are enemies.
Yeah.
I cannot do that one.
Do you know the only reason I like Google Maps is the Street View option, because it's a lot more up to date than most
Okay,
other
Bez.
ones, because they drive around every year. They're
Mm.
literally driving around every year. I think I got
Bez,
caught on one
Bez.
recently. Don't
I'm so
ask.
done, yeah.
I may have been caught on a Google camera somewhere. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. So we've spoken a bit about your theatre work. We've spoken about your dance. You do dance. I've learned a lot about sign language. I didn't know there was over 300
Oh, I
of
was
them.
gonna say, okay, then show us how do you say hello in sign
In
language?
What do you
British.
think hello is?
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how do you say how are you then?
How are you? So this is 2 thumbs up. So
Yeah.
imagine being like, oh, are you good? Yeah. Like, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you're
Yeah.
right. And then you're coming from here. So you swipe into good. Because
How are you?
people can
Okay.
also respond with, I'm good.
Hmm.
So you can literally just be like, oh, how are you? And then they can be like, oh, yeah, I'm good. Like, are you
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
Good.
So
Okay.
this is just so easy and quick. Just to be like, oh, you okay? Even when you're like passing and you
Yeah.
see someone and you're like, oh, you're right. And then you just walk past
Yeah.
type thing. So yeah, it's just that. Because it also means like healthy, well,
Mm.
all these different signs. So
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
what did you try to learn that?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
No. Well, I actually don't know. I'll have to call Shakira now, but I don't know. Yeah, I was I just tried it because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to just say it as an introduction. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna make a fool of myself, and 2, I'm not trying to be rude, so I'm just not gonna try, and I just gave
Imagine
up.
you try to do something, she's like, what is that?
That's what I'm saying.
And
Imagine,
that's
like,
my daily life. Someone will
yeah,
come up and be signing, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to say to me right now. Like, I
Oh.
genuinely don't know what you're trying to say.
it would be like trying to learn Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a complete different language.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that
completely
until
different.
I searched it up. I was like, this is like something.
Completely
And I'm
different.
horrible with languages as well.
Yeah.
I can't learn a new language for nothing. So,
Oh, I tried taking Igbo classes, you guys. I gave up.
oh yes, I remember you saying.
Yeah, I was actually
I
taking
didn't know
like
you stopped.
I did stop. Yeah.
How were you learning it?
So I was paying for there's this company I can't remember what they're called now. But I was paying for it, so
Mhm.
they would literally have like a 1 hour or 2 hour like class with you. Like it's online though. it's online, and they give you homework and stuff. So you write things in Igbo, you
Yeah.
learn things in Igbo. For me, anyway, in Igbo, they do Yoruba and Igbo. But yeah, I was in it for like, I was actually learning stuff. Don't get me wrong, I was actually learning stuff, but I felt like it was taking me longer than that it should, and I was paying money every single month towards this, and it's like it was just too. I don't know, it was just too much. Like I felt like it would take me a year, and I was thinking how much I'm gonna put into this to learn this for. So yeah, I give
Yeah,
up.
the thing with learning languages, not even just sign, but also spoken, I think to learn a language that is your language and to be paying for it, I think one, that's already messed up. But two, you said you were doing it online. I hate online lessons. I will always say try and immerse yourself in people who speak the language or sign the language. And yeah, you can do the course, but I would always vouch for like one-on-one classes, which is why when it comes to sign language, I'm always like, don't be looking online all of the time or be going on TikTok and being like, oh yeah, this person signed it this way. No. Get them one-on-one classes or in-person classes. And also for sign language, immerse yourself in the deaf community, in the deaf culture, because you're going to learn it much quicker by throwing yourself into the deep end and forcing yourself to speak to someone, to sign to someone who is a sign language user. So when it comes to Yoruba, I'm like, I don't want to be paying to learn it, but I'm also like, where else would be the best place for me to learn it? Because we're actually in the UK,
Yeah, there's
and
not everyone that speaks
not
your
much-
language around
yeah,
you. You know
there's
what I
not much
mean?
option, is there?
Yeah, there isn't much options.
Right.
And they even say that they're like, oh, like even though you're learning online, you have to then outside of learning, you have to speak it to someone. You have to talk to someone that speaks the language.
practice.
That, yeah, exactly, practice, because that's the only way you can actually pick it up quickly. But it's hard to, because how many Igbo people do I know? Like even my mom that hardly speaks Igbo to me, like even trying to get her.
She's speaking English.
She speaks English, yes. Growing up, that's the only language that they've spoken to us. So yeah, that's
okay.
why I just never knew. It's
got-
only if I traveled to like when I lived in Niger, I was actually born in Niger. People are like, oh, you were born in Niger, you don't know how to speak your language. There's
Yes.
different parts.
It
Me,
depends how long
I am
you-
people.
Yeah, me, I am people. I lived in Benin, right? Benin people don't speak Igbo language, right? Benin people speak Edo. Do you know what I mean? But I lived in Benin. So I only traveled to like Owerri, Imo State, for example, where like everyone speaks Igbo there. So I was able to pick up things from there. So now I can actually tell you like little things here and there. That's only because I was around people that spoke Igbo 24/7 in that place.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're right. Put yourself in the middle of like people that speak the language. That's how you'll be able to pick it up quicker than trying to like do, online classes for an hour.
Duolingo and whatnot.
Duolingo is
Duolingo.
that's the dumbest thing I've heard.
I downloaded Duolingo for Spanish, bro. That app was disturbing me every
Yeah.
single day. I said,
Nah, I don't know why people
Don't
use
worry.
that app. It does not. You don't learn anything. You learn, but you don't learn anything practical because you can't
Yeah.
actually practice it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. So, 2 questions. I'll ask you the first one. What drives you to pursue pushing these awareness out there? What struggles did you come across that made you want to pursue pushing the deaf awareness out there more through theatre or spoken word?
I think for me, growing up as a black deaf woman, there was hardly any representation. When it comes to anything deaf, the first spaces you get are white deaf people.
Yeah.
And even growing up with like sign language interpreter, it was only when I started working that I was really starting to learn more about actually having access to sign language interpreters. And then even then, because I also did some work in Cardiff and a lot of Wales, my first ever project in Cardiff, the choreographer that I was working with, she's also black, and was like, I'm going to assemble a black team. And that's when I met black interpreters. And I was just like, this shouldn't be something foreign to me.
Yeah.
Why am I 21, 22, only realizing, oh, wait, yeah, like, there's black interpreters. Like, I can just request them. So when it comes to promoting deaf awareness, I think it's because of my own lived experiences. Growing up with the only deaf person in the family, where I'm constantly having to advocate for myself, and then stepping out into the real world and having to navigate the world where it's just like, it's not built for you. And the best way I can explain it to people, especially black people, is you already know what the system is like towards black people. Imagine how much more it is for a black deaf person, because that's being racist, like experiencing racism, but also experiencing ableism at the same time. So navigating a system where I'm anxious to just jump on a train because I can't hear what the announcements are saying. So it's like I'm obviously going to be talking about all these different experiences just to get people to understand, okay, do you know what? This system, this world is actually designed for a certain set of people. Everyone else outside of that experiences it differently. So again, going back, growing up with that representation, I was just like, do you know what? My mum said go into audiology because raising you, I never met another deaf professional that could actually encourage me and say, do you know what, your daughter will be fine.
Yeah.
And then when I did work experience, I was like 15, 16, even maybe 15, 14, 15. I remember sitting in an audiology appointment and one woman came in with a newborn baby who'd been diagnosed with a hearing loss, and her heart was broken because no one around her could actually encourage her and be like, your daughter will be fine. But I'm sitting there, a deaf person, in the middle of my GCSE, telling her, you'll be fine. That made me realise, yeah, there need to be more deaf people in this profession to encourage not just parents of newborn, but also other deaf children, other deaf adults who probably think, oh, I can't navigate this system, I can't do all these different things. I'm literally one of the few deaf audiologists in this UK, and I'm probably one of the only maybe like 2, 3 that actually use BSL. So it's one of them ones where like this needs to be more common. And then when it comes to creative stuff, a lot of deaf people lean more to the creative stuff because it's easier and more accessible. Not that it's fully accessible, but it's easier to get into than it would be to go into kind of like an office job or something like that because of the barriers that we experience, the discrimination that we experience. Even like just trying to get a job first and foremost, we're automatically discarded. The second we put deaf on our CV, that CV is thrown out. It's the same way if you put a Nigerian last name on your CV, it's thrown out because it's not a white surname. So the same way when we put deaf, they throw it out. If we don't put deaf, but we want access to an interpreter, we then have to turn up to the interview and be like, hey, actually, I'm deaf, I do require access. And then it becomes a whole wahala. So that's why I'm always like pursuing all these different things and like trying to show other Black children like it's fine, you will actually be fine, but also trying to break down the system, not just by myself obviously, but trying to like tell other people you have a voice, you can do all these different things, and it's like we're gonna have to fight so that generations that follow can walk. We're gonna have to run so they can walk. Like we're actually gonna have to keep fighting. It was only in 2022 that England recognised the BSL as a language.
No way.
Wales recognised it. Might be wrong. Someone can comment, but I want to say 2003. England was the last country in the UK to recognise BSL as a language. There's an actual day called BSLX Day, which is March, April, because of 2022. We were fighting for it to be recognised to then push for a policy where it's like it's a legal right to provide access through BSL. But even still, in 2026, we're still fighting for a simple, reasonable adjustment, which is why I'm like, do you know what? Keep talking about deaf awareness within your friend, on social media, but also like spotlight different areas such as Christianity and religion, such as working in healthcare. Even though I'm a deaf audiologist, boy, working in audiology had literally been one of my toughest battles. So it's one of them ones where like I'm inspiring other people to do these different things, but also telling other people outside of that to be like, do you know what? Just take the time to realize that, okay, something that's so easy for me to obtain, it can be really hard for you to obtain. And how can we minimize that difficulty for you? And it's also to break down ignorance and tell people it's actually okay to admit, oh, something that I might not even think is convenient for me could actually be convenient for someone else, such as using caption. People are like, oh, I don't want to be typing out what I've been saying, but you're losing out on a whole demographic of people. If you want to do well on social media, use captions. It's not even just deaf people that benefit from it. People with auditory processing, people who don't even want to be listening to the audio. Tell me, is it not convenient where you can just watch in bed but you don't want to disturb whoever's in the house and you can just read along what's being said? Why would you not use captions? And people are like, oh, it's too long, it's too long, it's too long. But you don't realise the people that you're actually missing out on who can actually engage with your content. Especially when it's something like skincare. of course deaf people would want to know more about skincare. You don't think we're entitled to learn more about how to use flipping?
But it's just not thinking about it. Like,
No, it's
yeah,
not.
Yeah.
which
Whereas
makes
some people are
sense.
like, oh yeah, I'll just post it with my voiceover.
Mm.
We can't access your voiceover. We can't hear it. So of course, if you write alongside it, you're then making it more accessible. It may not be fully accessible because even people who use sign language, that's their first language. It's not the same as English, or it's not the same as the spoken language of the country they're in. So even when you do use captions, you could still be missing out on a whole other demographic of people because they're not able to read the captions. But at least you're making that step toward trying to provide accessibility and tell people you're willing to learn more about those things. So that's why I'm always like pushing for these things, because it's like, it doesn't just benefit me, it benefits a whole group of people. Like even hearing loss, people think it doesn't happen to them. Hearing loss can happen to anyone at any time. It's not just an older person thing. People are like, oh, I never thought I'd be able to have a hearing loss. But you're more comfortable wearing glasses, but that's a disability aid.
Yeah.
Having less vision is actually a disability, but people accept that a lot more than having a hearing aid. Or they're like, oh, I don't want people to think that I'm old because I'm wearing a hearing aid. It can actually happen to anyone. Why are you okay with it happening from birth or at old age?
Yeah.
It can actually happen at any time. You can be
Yeah.
disabled at any time. So why not provide the access that you know you would want to be entitled to if you were disabled?
Do you feel like it was the same with you growing up? So like, did you have to like teach your family like saying?
Yeah, so none of my family knows sign language. Because for me, I was born in 2000, and in 2002 is when this newborn screening came out. So obviously they didn't pick up the fact that I had a progressive hearing loss. So when I was born, up until the age of 2, I want to say, I was kind of responding to things, but my speech wasn't coming along. I stopped responding to things, and my mum was like, something's wrong. I would put my head next to the TV just to be able to hear the TV. So that's when my mum was like, okay, something's not right. She'd already had 2 other kids before me and was like, they're developing fine. They had no issue. So my mum was just like, okay, let's find out what's going on. And someone told her, yeah, like I have a hearing loss. And like for her, that was like a massive heartbreak. But that was only because not much awareness was around it. Not much
So what
resources
can
were
you
around it.
do?
That's 2000. So it's just like she would learn in these things. And also being Nigerian, being Christian, it's like, oh my gosh, my child is disabled. Like, oh, like, da-da-da. And you just don't know the kind of thing that people would tell her around that. So growing up, my mum was just like, no, I want her to be able to speak. I need her to develop her speech. But she still allowed me to learn sign language. I mean, it's not that she allowed me to, but she knew that was my language. She knew that would be one of the languages that I would want to have. So when I went to primary school, secondary school, and sixth form, I had access to sign language. So I had access to that language, which meant that I'm able to just use it whenever I want to, however I want to. However, I can't use it at home because no one understands it. So I have to communicate through spoken English. And then when I had the operation at 18, I completely lost the rest of the hearing that I had anyways. And then that obviously made my family be like, okay, she can't hear us at all.
Operation?
So for my cochlear implants.
Oh, okay.
So when I grew up, I had some residual hearing. So without my hearing aids, I could pick up probably my stepdad's voice and be aware that, okay, someone's probably shouting for me. And then I could still like communicate somewhat. But then when I had the operation, one of the risks is that the rest of the hearing that you have, the residual hearing, completely goes. So I've woken up, I can't hear nothing.
Oh.
So then obviously being at home, they're all chatting, and I'm just sitting there and they're like, okay. So they've now had to learn how to adapt to that 18 years later. And it was just like, do you know what? You could have made life easier for yourself much sooner if you learned sign language. Because when people were visiting me, where we were all communicating in sign language, and my family just sitting there like, oh, oh.
They're probably cussing us, but we don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Exactly. So because of the social media, it had brought my mum closer to me. Like me and her have a better relationship now because she's seeing all these things that I'm doing, and she's like, do you know what, fair enough. But at the same time, she always made sure that I had access to whatever it was that I would recommend it to have growing up. So I can't fault her. Like, I'm actually very lucky to be in the position that I am now. So yeah.
Oh.
That's I mean, bless you as well. I mean, to be it's not devil's advocate, but not knowing anything about it, and then having a child and having to try and navigate the world with a child with hearing deficiencies, I can only imagine how hard it is.
Yeah, it's probably hard.
Because we don't
Even scary. I'm so sorry. Like, sorry
Mm.
to call you guys off. It's even scary because I saw this video. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Instagram as well. This mom has a child that can't communicate. So when he comes back from school, she can't ask him, "How was your day? Like, what happened in school?"
Yeah.
But she would see like bruises on him. But
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, so she had
Yes.
to
Oh,
implant. She had
She
to
hide her camera.
Sorry,
Yeah.
she had to hide a camera in his head to know what was actually happening to
Yeah,
him at school.
because he's non-verbal, isn't he?
He's
Yeah, it's
non-verbal.
autistic,
That's
yeah.
scary. So having a child at such a young age who can't communicate to you the way like you'd want, it's hard. And then you're putting them out in the world. Like it's scary. So I can only imagine. Yeah.
Yeah,
What it's
exactly.
like.
Which is why, again, I'll always say I can't fault my mum. She did the best she
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
with the resources she was handed.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the council where we live, they were also quite involved and quite
Which is
encouraging.
good.
Like, there's this one man, his name is Rory, one of those. I can never remember his name. But he, like, growing up, he was there from start to end. Like, my mom would be like, okay, like, you can help my daughter out, but I'm not going to chat to you. But then
Yeah.
over time, she was just very much like, he is one of the few people my mum will always praise to this day. She was so thankful for him and thankful for the resources that he offered her, and was like, oh, do you want to learn sign language? She was like, no, I want my daughter to speak, but if you want to teach her sign language, go for it. So he made sure that I had access to everything. He made sure to tell my mum where the best places to go to for school would be and all these different things. So it's just like, even though my mum was like obviously going to be in a position of where, oh my gosh, like I've got a disabled child, what do I do here? Da, da, da. She was still given the resources and did the best she could with those different things. So
Yeah.
even though it was scary, she would learn alongside me. So it's just kind of like, thank God for my mum, I guess. So yeah, it is very scary. But it's one of the ones where like I always tell parents, your child just can't hear, and there's not anything different that you should be doing in terms of raising a child that can hear, but obviously learn the language that they're entitled to. Because a lot of parents would be like, no, I want my child to like be able to speak, but then that pushes them to lose out on finding their deaf identity. It makes them lose out on the community that they could be involved in if they understand sign language. It makes them feel different. And this is something I've always said as well. For me, I feel too hearing to be in a deaf community, but I also feel too deaf to be in a hearing community. Whereas if you give us all these different tools where we feel like actually we can be very flexible and we can navigate these two worlds as best as we can, then who to say we can't achieve what we want to achieve? Like, a lot of people think, oh, deaf people can't do this, can't do that, da, da, da. Like listening to music. Who told you that? Like, deaf
Who
people,
told you that?
deaf people love music. We have a organization called Deaf Rave, and they do events and they DJ. It's deaf DJs. They hold events for deaf people. They've started providing vests where you can feel the vibrations of the music. So even if you can't necessarily hear it through hearing devices, you can still feel it, because a lot of deaf people will love feeling music. That's why you'll meet people who love rock music, because you can feel that. You'll meet people who will love rap because it's got heavy bass and all these different things. And it's like, we would always love to be able to access the music through vibrations, through feeling. Some people even like put their hand on a speaker at a concert. Even if they don't know the lyrics, they will know the song that's playing because they recognize the tempo and the beat of the music. So whenever it comes to being deaf, I'm always like, do you know what? We're actually not that much different from you. We just can't hear. And obviously not being able to hear means that we experience all these different barriers, but those barriers don't necessarily have to be in place, which is why a lot of people love to refer to the social model of disability when it comes to deafness, because yes, the medical term of disability is like, okay, it's an impairment, which we hate that word, and it's like, okay, it's a disability, but is the deafness really what's making us disabled, or is it society?
Yeah. I think it's the latter. Because I
Gosh.
I am a culprit of it. It's until I met you, I never thought of doing anything in regards to like deaf people or maybe blind people. not necessarily like going up to them and giving them money or anything to support, but in just in little things I do. For example, like the podcast, for example, we could, like you were saying with the subtitles, that would be helpful. I never thought about anything of that sort at all. When Dan, our editor, when we're going through the clips and we're just talking about clips, we're like, oh, subtitles or no subtitles. I'm like, this clips needs to be engaging, so take off the subtitles. But I'm not thinking, oh, maybe someone can't hear us and needs to be able to read it. So I think it's very much that society, we as a people, don't pay enough attention. Just simply because I can just hear everything and I can see everything doesn't mean that someone else is necessarily in the same boat as us. So I think yeah, we definitely need to do a lot more. And I was actually going to ask, what can we do to support what more can we do to support you guys in terms of anything, wherever you want us for, wherever you expect from us to help the Deaf Society?
This answer varies from different people to within the community. But going back to what I was saying about representation and how we lack representation, whenever it comes to anything deaf, spotlight deaf people. So I was a part of a campaign 2024, I want to say, where there's this organization called Signature, and they like highlight certified like courses and stuff like that for BSL. And they did a campaign called Resign, because TikTok is a breeding ground for misinformation and also showing incorrect sign language. Like, to this day, I posted a video last year. To this day, I'm being attacked in the comments for correcting someone's sign language. And everyone's like,
TikTok is
oh, but she's
dark.
using this, she's
TikTok
using
one.
that. Because the person that I was correcting was using British Sign Language, but had done some of the handshapes wrong. So I corrected it. And I did it in kind of like a sarcastic manner, because when you're kind to people, they're like, oh, but like, oh, I'm just trying my best. But when you do it in a sarcastic manner, obviously they're going to be upset. But a lot more people will be like, okay, do you know what, Fed? You lot have been saying something about this.
Yeah.
Prior to me making that video, people had already been commenting on different people's videos, being like, hey, just to let you know, you are using the wrong sign. This isn't actually recognised in BSL, and it is being mixed up with different languages, such as American Sign Language. So the reason why I was a part of that campaign 2 years ago was because we're like, do you know what? When it comes to learning sign language, people want to be like, oh, I'm learning it so that I can sign songs and make it accessible to deaf people, or that I can become like a performance interpreter and I can be signing concerts. And it's like, is that really your main intention of learning sign language? Just so that you can get some clout and be on TV signing for flipping Lizzo? Like, who actually cares?
Yeah.
So when it comes to supporting deaf people, it's one of them when we're like, actually listen to deaf people. Listen, pun intended. But listen to deaf people and actually take in what they're saying and actually respect that they're trying to protect their language. We're not saying don't learn it. Learn it to communicate with us. Don't learn it just so that you can get a couple of coins off TikTok and be like, oh, I can sign, or I can rap Nicki Minaj in sign language. No one cares. Respectfully. Yes, we love music and yes, we want to access it. But if your main intention to learn sign language is just so that you can go on TikTok and be like, oh, I can do this trending audio, we don't actually care about that. So spotlight deaf creators, spotlight deaf people, be like, oh, hey, like, this is how theatre can be more accessible. This is how you yourself can be more accessible. When it comes to sharing resources and awareness, just share those things and start conversations with other people and be like, you know what, I actually want to learn. But don't be annoying in terms of, you know, a white person will be like, oh, I want to learn more about Black culture. And they come in and ask you questions and you're actually looking at them like, if you want to educate yourself, educate yourself. Don't be relying on me to educate you. Apply that same kind of logic to deaf people. Yes, deaf people are willing to educate, but do it in a way that you actually show that you respect their time and you're generally wanting to learn about these different things. So in terms of supporting us, it can vary from different people to different people, but it could be, if you're interested in theatre, find out more about deaf theatre, about accessible theatre. Find out more about petitions that are being like created by deaf people. At the moment, there is a Black deaf woman. Her name is Tiana Hodin, and she is currently doing a lawsuit against a theatre company because she wanted to watch Stranger Things. and she went to the theatre and said, oh, hey, like, you've only got one caption screening, like showing, which I'm not able to attend. Can I have the script in written format so that I can read along? And the theatre company were like, no, we're not allowed to give it to you because of copyright. And she said, but I'm only asking for the exact script that's going to be said. So I'm only asking for the information that the hearing audience are going to be
Already,
obtaining.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, we still can't provide it to you because of copyright. We're not allowed to do da 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 da. And she was like, you do know under the Equality Act and the Disability Act and the BSL Act, you are legally required to give me these reasonable adjustments. And they're like, oh, sorry, our hands are tied. So she's doing a lawsuit against that because it's like, you've just discriminated me. And they said, oh, you can come back in September. Are we not in May? We're in May and you only have one caption show in September. Who's to say that we're able to make it in September?
Also, how is it a copyright infringement if the movie's already out and people know what's being said? It's just... Oh, this is the silliest argument I've ever heard.
Exactly.
It's always them ones.
And then even in 2021, I don't know if you've heard of a show called Rip Off Britain. I did that for cinema accessibility. Why are there cinema screenings at 9:20 a.m. on a Wednesday morning?
Oh my God.
But like for me to watch the Michael Jackson movie, thankfully on the day it came out, Greenwich Picture House has caption screening. But even when we booked it, they had actually taken the listing off because someone did a private booking. So we were all like, hello, wait, was it Michael Jackson or what was the other movie? The Drama. Was it the drama with Zendaya?
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those movies, but they took off the listing because someone did a private booking. But the only reason we found that out was because someone else was trying to come with my group, and they were like, "Oh, I can't see the time that you booked the ticket for." So one of my boys called them because obviously I can't call. Called the cinema and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we've had to take it off because of a private booking." And I said, "So you weren't going to email people and let them know because how do you know the person booking the caption screening is not there?"
Yeah.
So how do you know they're able to just call? What if I was going by myself?
Of this thing.
What if I was going by myself and I've turned up to the cinema and they're telling me, oh, no, sorry, we don't have that screening anymore?
Oh my God.
But like when it comes to cinemas, to find a caption screening is so difficult. Why can't I just go to the one down my road? Why do I have to go to flipping Leicester Square on a Friday morning just to go and be able to watch a movie that everyone else had already watched in the first 2 weeks it's come out? So it's one of them ones where like these conversations are not being had, or they are, but it's being suppressed and no one's actually accessing them and actually being like, okay, do you know what? I'm able to just go to the cinema on a Saturday afternoon with my peoples, but a deaf person is not able to. People have gone to the cinema to sit down for a caption screening. Someone's in the audience talking about, oh, they're too distracting, turn them off. And the cinema's actually turned it off. But there are deaf people in the audience who are watching that same film.
Oh my God.
And they're like, oh, we're so sorry, but people are complaining about it. Oh, we can.
The heck? Sorry.
Yeah, do you know what? The cinema is so weird. Not to take away from what you're saying, but I went to watch Michael, and there were these little kids singing and making noise through the whole movie. Everyone's like, yeah, can you be quiet? Like, we're just trying to enjoy the movie. Like, be quiet. No, don't tell me to be quiet. And one guy lost it. It was a turnaround. I said, shut up. Lost it. He went downstairs, told the security or whatever, oh, these guys are being rude to me. The security guy came, tried to kick the other guy out, and then everyone obviously stood up and was like, no, those kids over there, there's like 10 of them, they're all being a nuisance. If you're going to kick someone out, kick all of them out. Don't kick out this one black guy. And then it became a whole thing. The whole movie was a bit almost ruined, but it became a whole thing. I don't know what it is about the cinema world, but they need to look at these things. I was just going to say, why don't they do every other screening as subtitled?
Do you know what's funny? Every cinema receives the movie with the caption track. So it's not that they don't have it and they're only able to put it up at certain times. Every movie is legally required. Like every movie, I think it's legally required to at least have 20% of their screenings for whatever movie it is captioned. But most cinemas aren't even following that.
No way.
Because they don't put it up. They don't think it's necessary. And it's like, but you do know it's not just deaf people who want those. It could be someone who's not even British, who's not even English. They're
Yeah.
probably trying to learn English.
Yeah.
So going to the cinema is the best way for them to be able to read the English and understand the English and be like, oh, okay, that's what that means. Again, auditory processing. There's a lot of people who have normal hearing, but it takes them longer to process what's being
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So having the written format helps them. So it's like, it's not just deaf people who benefit from these things. It's a whole demographic of people that benefit from them. But cinemas are just like, oh,
They
we
just
don't really
ignore it.
care.
Again, I didn't know that 20% of the movies, at least 20% had to be
Captioned,
subtitled.
yeah.
I didn't know. I've learned so. Do you know what? This episode was meant to be a quick 30-40 minute episode. It's ended up being over that. But yeah, I've just learned so much. It's actually really, really interesting, and you've opened my eyes a lot more. I think I said this to you the first time I met you. I was like, I never thought about things like this. And the more I'm having a conversation with you, the more I'm realizing we need to be having this conversation often. It needs to be out there a lot
But
more.
I feel like they also need to educate kids as well, because like kids will grow up not knowing these things. I feel like there's a lot that they're not learning in school, man.
School is so
So
useless,
much they're not
honestly.
so much they're not learning in
Yeah.
school. So it's like, yeah, that's why like I don't want to say it's not their fault, but like
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
we're not
It needs to
aware.
start at the grassroots.
yeah.
You know, when we're talking about racism and all these things, we want to tackle it from grassroots. We want to tackle it in
Yeah.
schools and stuff like that. Why are we not doing the same energy toward disabilities? Not just
Yeah.
deafness, but blindness and all of these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And it's like, which is why in sixth form, I was deputy head girl. And for Deaf Awareness Week, which is the first week of May, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about deafness. And for the week, I want a challenge. I offered people to wear earplugs and be like, go into each of your classes with these earplugs, come back and tell me what it's like. By the end of the week, so many people were like, do you know what? Even though I could still hear a bit of sound, walking around the hallways, sitting in class, struggling, I can't even imagine what it's like for a deaf person who's not able to access BSL or access notes and stuff like that. So that's why it's also really important to have it in schools, because some deaf people, they're the only deaf person in that school, and they'll end up being lost in the system. Deaf people, deaf children are 2 grades behind their peers, 2 grades. So a hearing person can get A star. A deaf person could probably end up with a C, a B or a C,
Damn.
just because they're not able to access their
Yeah.
education. So it needs to start from grassroots, from education, and it needs to be a much bigger thing where we're like, okay, let's support people with disabilities, especially the one that impacts them a lot more in terms of education, work, and stuff like that, reasonable adjustments, which is why, again, conversations need to be had. But also, parents. Parents need to be a lot more open-minded, because we all know what it's like when a child actually is so innocent, but their parents are throwing out all these slurs, throwing out all these like ignorant like rhetoric, where the child ends up
Picking them up,
absorbing that.
yeah. These things are not
Especially
are
African
not
parents.
Hey.
you're not born like that. You're taught those things.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, no, Sarah, thank you for coming on again.
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot today
Same, I
from
learned
you.
a lot today
So,
from you.
Yeah, appreciate you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for having me. Yep.
I know you've got some theatre work. It's ongoing. It's always ongoing. So if you have anything coming up, this episode will drop in about a month from now. So if you have anything ongoing, send it to us. We'll put it in the description so people can go check you out as well. Obviously, follow Sarah. It'll be all in the description down below. Yeah. Any pages you want to shout out? Any people you want to shout out?
Instagram, it is Sarah Adedeji, so SarahAdedeji.x. My TikTok is Ambitious Deaf Kid. You may find me on like YouTube. I did run a podcast under Socially Sound that is now discontinued, but you're more than welcome to go back and watch those videos on YouTube. But we also did post them on Spotify. So for those that can hear, you can listen to them on Spotify also. Please don't try and find me on Twitter, because I'll just be running my mouth from there.
Oh my God. I don't know what it is about Twitter, but a lot of people don't like Twitter.
But obviously my Instagram is connected to my Threads, but I've been quite low-key on my Threads. So Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is a lot more unfiltered. So
Yeah.
Please don't judge me.
I
And I won't judge you.
love how no one calls it X. Everyone just calls it Twitter because
Yeah.
X2. No,
No.
sorry.
ain't nobody calling it
As
X.
We don't
soon-
claim that
As
one.
soon as it became X, it went even further down the drain than it already
Hey.
was. So
Elon
Yeah.
Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk.
Watch this
Anyway.
video be banned because you just said his name.
Oh, imagine. I'll come and find you.
Oh
No.
my days.
Imagine that. Oh my god. But yeah, guys, it's been another great episode. We hope you've taken something away from this episode.
Yeah.
At the very minimum, know
Oh yeah,
to
and support the team.
Don't,
We're
mi-
out here
don't
to
mind her.
win.
Don't
No, which
mind
camera is
her.
supposed to be?
No-
Yeah,
none of them
we're-
is facing you at this point.
Stop. We're here to win, okay? We won the Premier League and we're gonna take it home today, okay? Well, when is this coming out?
It's coming out in a month's time, so we'll know by then.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we won.
Putting
But-
a cut scene where she's
Yeah.
crying her eyes out, talking about, oh,
Wait, yeah, I
You know
hope
what?
you lose now.
Ah, God
Hope
forbid.
you lose.
Any weapon formed against us shall not prosper. Amen.
Do you know
Amen.
what? We were saying this downstairs when we first came in. I never knew this many Arsenal fans existed until 2 weeks
Honestly.
ago.
Yeah,
Where did
no,
it
I've
come
been
from?
seeing it bare
fake
on my
fan.
they
Instagram.
came out
Not
of
me,
the
though.
brickworks.
Not me
Came
though.
out-
I
the
didn't know you
brickwork.
supported Arsenal until last week.
Last week.
Yes.
Just last week.
Or whenever they won it, 2 weeks ago.
Nah, man. Then you haven't paid attention to my social media. That's why.
Oh.
You never posted anything about
Yes,
I can promise you.
have.
You posted, no, okay, last week is a stretch. Maybe about a few weeks ago when they won a couple games, I saw you posted something.
No, did you see when I went to the Arsenal? Did you see when I went to the stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't mean you support Arsenal.
Yeah, I do. I took that to heart. I was proud. But anyways, no, you're
yeah.
right, because I never really posted it before that. Let's be honest. But
I knew it was fake because like some Arsenal fans were popping up to me saying the wrong stuff, and I was like, "That's how you know."
You're not a real
Yeah.
fan. But I feel like we're just following a trend. Like it's
They are.
become so
Yeah,
like, popular
yeah.
on social
Yeah.
media.
But also, Arsenal's been taking a lot of L's for how many years now?
Yeah,
So people
22
will probably-
years to be
years.
exact.
Finally, that's
and it
why
should have
it's
been
a big
50
deal.
years.
Am I not 25?
Whoa.
Am I not
Whoa.
25? Oh,
Well,
We don't want such hate
It
around
should have been
here.
50 years. Yes, I said it. It
Seriously,
should have
how
been.
rude.
It should have been
Nah,
50
man.
years.
who do
But-
you even support?
Don't worry about it.
Oh!
You can't even say it.
Don't worry, we're not going to talk about it. Just know that my team,
Mm.
even though we didn't win the Premier League,
Uh-huh.
we still have more trophies than Arsenal so far in the season.
Are you
I'll leave it
Manchester
there.
United? Are you Man
With
City?
that being said,
It's
people,
Man City. It's Man City, innit?
thank you for joining us. Follow us on all social media platforms, TikTok and Instagram being all of them, just us two.
SSCS.
Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to us on the Patreon. And follow Sarah. Follow Demebs. And don't follow me. Enjoy the rest
I'm
of your day. Bye-bye.
screaming. Bye.